Can God forgive us for what we've done to this world? Welcome to Should You Watch This with the Popcorn Priest, the weekly podcast where movie enthusiasts, ex-movie theater projectionists, and many others take the time to talk about a movie that we just watched and answer that very question, should or shouldn't you watch this? I'm your host, Chris Compton. Let's get into our review and breakdown of First Reformed from 2017.
So, you know my story. I encouraged my son to enlist. It was a family tradition. Like his father, my father, before me. 6 months later, he was dead in Iraq.
He's going to be a soldier in the army of the Lord.
You know, the world will be like in 2050.
He's going to be a soldier.
The bad times, they will begin. Opportunistic diseases, anarchy, martial law. You will live to see this.
He's going to be a soldier in the army of the Lord.
Will God forgive us for what we're doing to his creation?
Well, I think you need to step back, Reverend.
Put on the full armor of God.
It's the earth that hangs in the balance. Somebody has to do something.
I'm just frightened of everything.
So what if this is his plan? What if we just can't see it?
Our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against the powers of this dark world.
His soul is marching on.
Joining me today are recurring guests Cole and Taylor, longtime friends and movie enthusiasts who both worked with me when I worked as a projectionist at the movie theater years ago. Happy to have them on this week's breakdown of First Reformed from 2017. The description for this one is: a minister of a small congregation in upstate New York grapples with mounting despair brought on by tragedy, worldly concerns, and a tormented past. Directed by Paul Schrader, he wrote Taxi Driver and Raging Bull. So he doesn't have a ton of directing credits, but this is one of them. Top billed stars Ethan Hawke, Amanda Seyfried. I believe it's Seyfried. We'll go with Seyfried. Cedric the Entertainer, to name a few. Runtime of 1 hour and 53 minutes. Not rated. Genre on Rotten Tomatoes says drama, mystery, and thriller. IMDb gives this a rating of a 7.1 out of 10 from 48,000 reviews. Rotten Tomatoes gives it a 93% from critics, however, a 63% from the rest of us. 241 critic ratings and 25,000 plus audience reviews. On a $3.5 million budget, this one made a worldwide box office haul of $3.8 million. I guess that's good because it's over the amount that they spent, but I'm sure that they would have liked to have made more money. If you have a current library card, you can stream this for free right now on Hoopla, spelled Hoopla, or Canopy, Kanopy. Or if you have a Showtime subscription, it's on there as well. Or, of course, you can rent or buy it. But before you do that, let's get into the hottest segment in podcast history. Should or shouldn't you watch this? Top 5 reasons why you should watch this are: number 1, if you're a fan of Ethan Hawke or Amanda Seyfried, they both give great performances in this. This is for you. Number 2, if you like arthouse films, this is for sure for you. Number 3, if you really enjoy seeing Protestant priests wrestle with alcoholism, this is for you. And number 4, if you want to see said priest go through a crisis of faith, this is for you. And number 5, but not least, if you feel sad about the portrayal of the state of the human race and what we're doing to the earth, then this is for you. So to accompany the should or shouldn't you watch this segment, I've got 2 snippets that I really think add to this part. The first is from a review from a critic, and the second part is from the director himself being interviewed in a question he's asked. So I wanted to share that before we get into the trivia. Paul Schrader's First Reformed, in which Ethan Hawke brilliantly plays an alcoholic Protestant minister undergoing a profound spiritual and psychological crisis, is a stunning, enrapturing film, a crowning work by one of the American cinema's most essential artists. Yet in the moment I deliver that unstinting endorsement, I feel compelled to add that this is a very special film for a certain, inevitably rather limited audience. In line with other Schrader movies, but perhaps more so than any, it defines itself against many of the central assumptions and conventions of most mainstream movie making. I kind of align with this critic because you'll find out in the review, but I have a hard time endorsing this for a lot of people. But it's a good movie, but well, you'll hear the rest. And then I love the response to the director. Here's the question: what role does the church play in your life today? This is directed to the director. He says about church gives me the kind of regularity I'd grown up with. You take an hour and a half every Sunday morning to define your week and to be quiet. To me, it's much more like meditation. People don't walk out of church because they're bored. They go to church to be bored. And he laughs at that. And I was missing that. At this point, there may be some spoilers up ahead, so if you want to watch and then come back and join us for our breakdown of First Reformed from 2017, or if you didn't like any of the above and you should or shouldn't you watch this list, you might want to just listen to the review and move on to something else. It's not for everyone. You have been warned. Now for our popcorn trivia. There's not a lot here because there wasn't a lot that I could find about this movie since it only made $3.8 million. Amanda Seyfried was pregnant during the production, so there's that. This was shot in 20 days on a $3.5 million budget. 20 days, that's pretty fast. After a lengthy, acclaimed career, First Reformed 2017 marked the first time that Paul Schrader was nominated for an Academy Award. The only film of the year to be nominated for the Best Original Screenplay Oscar and not be nominated for Best Picture. In earlier days, Ethan Hawke once considered becoming a priest. So that might be why he does such a great job in this film, because he is very believable as a priest. All right, here's my popcorn beefs. You'll hear it in the breakdown, but this is the first time I don't have a rating for a movie. And sad that this is the first movie that heavily features a priest, and I feel might have tainted my good moniker. For shame, Hollywood. I am here as your advocate to the people, and you give me this depiction of priests? That is my beef. All right, let's find out why in this week's review of First Reformed from 2017. Welcome back to another episode of The Popcorn Priest. I'm your host, The Popcorn Priest. We have just screened First Reformed in 4K Ultra HD on Amazon Prime.
You gotta see that.
You don't even have a 4K TV.
I know.
Why not? Oh, good thing it was free.
2018 drama suspense.
That was last year.
The pastor, played by Ethan Hawke, of a small church in upstate New York, spirals out of control after a soul-shaking encounter with an unstable environmental activist and his pregnant wife, played by Amanda Seyfried.
I thought it was
Seyfried. In this taut, chilling thriller.
Oh,
yeah, this movie's got a lot going on. Like a lot, way more than I thought. I thought it was just going to be about, like, I don't know, a religious person experiencing despair. But no, there's a lot more to it than that.
A lot more to it. A lot more. And let's get this out of the way. We screen this because
Yeah, because Chris is a coward.
I couldn't take...
Because he couldn't watch The Witch. So to punish him, I chose First Reformed.
We were going to watch The Witch, which I saw...
We were not going to watch The Witch. I wanted to watch The Witch.
Which witch was going to watch which?
And Chris is too cowardly.
I saw... Cole made me watch the trailer many years ago.
Yeah.
and it terrified me.
Because it
then.
looked like a really good movie.
Yeah.
It was.
I actually don't know why I never went around seeing it. Like, I was working there at the time. And
I think it was more like limited because I remember the Gateway got it in a few places, but then it was gone really quick because I think it was February.
I swear we had it, but I still didn't go see it, so who knows what's going on.
Who knows?
I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna have to sit on my own now. Thank you, Chris.
That just means we're gonna watch The Witch for Christmas.
No. I don't trust him, but
Oh, I see how it is.
if you watch it and tell me I can handle it, maybe I'll watch it.
See, that's what it's.
Whatever. I said that. What?
It's not really suspenseful. It's not like.
Because you said that Mandy was not as bad as This Is Us.
That's
it was
what I was
way worse.
I said that was what I
Us.
said about Mandy. So you shouldn't trust me, apparently.
Maybe I shouldn't trust either one.
I hadn't seen
I said
that.
Mandy.
Oh, okay.
I said Mandy wasn't scary at all, and I stand by that because that movie rules.
Yeah, it wasn't scary.
I mean,
It was colorful and blossomed in terms of
if you
the
went
spectrum.
into Mandy thinking it was a horror, then like the first 30 minutes of that's kind of tense, but it reveals what it is at a point.
It was crazy, dude. Well,
It's like the Carpenters, but better.
I'm gonna not say what I'm gonna say until the end.
What
do you think? What do you guys think?
What are you holding out?
Billion trillion stars for this movie?
Is it just because you enjoyed the ending so much that
No, I really liked it.
So the first half, you have to struggle. I'm not gonna lie, I spaced in and out a little bit on the
See,
first
now
half.
I have a better attention span than Cole does.
Mine is horrible, but the second
Did
half.
you sleep?
No, I did
Okay,
not.
That's good.
The first half, you'll have to pay attention. The second half, when the torch is kind of passed from one paranoid person to another, so to speak, then it actually starts getting really interesting to figure out what's going to happen because it sets up clues, but you kind of have to interpret what exactly is going to go down, and it makes it it keeps things tense to, the very end when you're kind of scratching your head a little bit, but I liked it.
Yeah, no, the ending's definitely kind of
It's
an ambiguous,
Yeah.
Children of Men kind of ending.
That's a good.
I mean,
Good
it's
connection.
another heavily, less overt but very Christian film, which is what this has an awful lot of Christianity in it. I mean, it's about a pastor, but
Well, half the movie takes place in a church.
yeah, yeah. I mean, that's
Or
like
church,
it's like what a surprise! I just went and saw this movie about a church. It was too much Christianity. But yeah, it's the directed and written by the screenwriter of Taxi Driver and
Raging Bull.
Raging Bull. I didn't get that at first. The second half of that, I was like, oh, yeah, no, this is the same guy. This movie's considerably darker than I thought it was.
Especially, yeah.
Because at first it was just kind of, I thought it was going to be like a crisis of faith after something tragic.
Yeah.
It's deper than that. There's a lot more to it. The whole
Well-
environmentalism, I did not know that was that focused on that. It was just general despair about the future of humanity and
But then it got more,
lots of
There was a lot more
Well, but then when
about
you
environmentalists.
combine the aspect that his health may be failing.
yeah, and then his
It goes
failing
deeper
health
than-
and
yeah.
his belief in how his
What God has in store for
religion
him.
is compromised by money and there's a lot to it. I recommend it. I don't know. I would. Well, okay.
Well,
it would depend on the type of person. It's another one of those.
A lighthearted version of There Will Be Blood, where politics
Yeah,
and
it
religion
also reminded me of There Will Be Blood. That's another movie that, in terms of
There Will Be Blood is much better than this movie.
it's very different.
I know,
I just mean it's
I would recommend that to a person. I don't know if
It's
I would
the-
recommend it.
Yeah, now this is a lot more our house than that one was. This one's insanely our house, especially that one scene.
Oh yeah, that is.
That felt like that's small theater in a big city kind of a scene.
So my take is, it kept me engaged. I wanted to listen. I enjoyed the score, which is the absence of score. It was just
No, there's
that humming.
there's a
when
couple
it
times.
was there, it chose its moments. I thought Ethan Hawke was really good.
And I liked it, but I definitely wouldn't recommend it to like
Anyone?
maybe not even you. Maybe you guys are the only people in my whole life that I would ever.
No, my dad likes stuff. The only thing my dad has is he hates the ambiguous endings where you have to make up your mind kind of thing.
Well, he wouldn't like this then.
Well, no, but he'd like everything else up to that point because then you're scratching your head. But I definitely recommend this to him. He'd love this.
Yeah, this is probably the only time that I have a hard time rating this.
I really liked it. It has a lot to say. I mean, whether you want to agree with it or not.
Yeah,
But-
I mean, it's very overt.
Oh no, for sure. I'm just saying, like it has a lot to say about modern religion and
It tries to cram.
and environmentalism and
It's trying to cram quite a few decades.
No,
of
it
stress and
feels
angst
like
in 2 hours.
There's a lot of it. It's weird that it comes across as coherent as it is, considering how
That's true.
it could easily have been like
How
Zardoz
vague.
or something where you're like, well, I don't even know. Man.
That's what I mean. That's what I like about the first half. It slowly sets things up so it doesn't feel like it's going anywhere, and then
Yeah, and then it's like,
Once
oh,
it flips over,
once you
then it
then you get the full thesis of the movie, and you're like, oh,
yeah, then it starts to kick you in.
I just didn't like the thing I didn't like was the jump from him all of a sudden
where it
being,
flips.
yeah,
that transition was very quick and aggressive.
I mean, it felt kind of gradual. I mean, like they hint at they hint at him being unstable with the alcohol and the failing health.
And being bothered by his ex-wife half the time when he's trying to forget.
Was that his ex-wife?
That's how she was able to ask about his medical records. How she knew what was going on in his
I'm not
diagnosis.
sure that was his ex-wife.
She said she called the hospital.
Yeah, but I don't think that's who. I think she was
That's
someone.
what they were talking about in the stairwell.
Yeah, I know, but I don't think she was his ex-wife. I think that was someone he
because
had like a
his ex-wife left.
he had like a relationship with after he left his
No,
wife.
you're right. I forgot that at the beginning. You're right. Never mind.
Yeah, it has a lot to say about being a parent in the modern era, about living with guilt and despair.
That's right.
There's a lot of heady themes. I don't know.
Well, it throws a lot at you. It bounces back and forth in a good way. And Amanda Seyfried took her whole situation with relative good cheer. It seemed.
Yeah, that she seemed. Well, I don't know. It's hard to say.
That also bothered me. I'm glad you brought that up.
That's what kept throwing me off was
Because I felt like maybe there's something else, but there never was.
after the accident, everything afterwards, she's kind of like, it's like, seeing a friend from high school rather than trying to help her with her issues, but maybe they just left.
Although I mean,
lifting.
that may have. Could have been a choice because of the ending that this movie has.
That's true. I guess
If you portrayed that differently, then the ending would be more confusing.
If she was a miserable wreck, it
Yeah.
would make sense. Yeah, no, you're right.
You mean the Sopranos ending?
It is, yeah. No, that's exactly what it reminded me of.
Well, I don't know. This explained a little more than
Yeah, I mean, that wasn't
true.
It wasn't that. So this one, we're like, well, yeah, most of this stuff's played out, but no, I liked it. It's dark. It's a lot darker than I thought it was going to be. Yeah.
All right.
It's an art house movie. It's got a slow pace, but it keeps you going.
It's A24 material. I'll give it that.
Oh, absolutely. No, as far as the A24 brand goes, this is this is dead on.
You get something.
Yeah, like you see in that A24, you're like, oh, I know what this movie's gonna be.
I should have gotten an espresso instead of a soda with this movie.
And you have to sip it very slowly.
This has to last me 2 hours, dear.
Yeah, no, this is an on-brand movie for them, for sure.
All right, well, there you have it. First Reformed.
Yep, million, trillion stars.
And, go, man.
It's on Prime. It's free.
If you have Amazon Prime, it is free to watch.
Yeah, it's free to watch. So.
It's a dark movie.
I'd say it's recommend. I mean, it's worth it if it's free. At least that's my take.
I can see why Well, it's interesting. When we first pulled it up, it only had 3 stars. Now it has...
Oh, I see. I could understand people not liking this.
Yeah,
That's perfectly fine.
Taylor went and rated it while we were watching it. And
brought it up 1 billion stars.
Yeah.
It
brought up
shifted the average.
half a star.
It went from
3.5.
it went from 100 reviews to 101.
Yeah, I don't even know. I can't even... This might be the first time I don't give a rating. Just listen to my comments and make a decision.
Yeah, I don't know that I would recommend this to anyone, like, in person, but I don't like to recommend things in general.
Well, that's the whole point of this podcast.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying I don't like that.
You're missing the point, Taylor.
Yeah, I know, and I don't like doing it. It's like, well, you know.
No, but it's good. I mean, that's why we're here.
Yeah,
So-
to be ambiguous and say, this is a movie that exists and you can watch today.
Yes. This movie is watchable.
This movie
If you've got 2 eyes...
was made.
If you've got 2 eyes and nothing to do for 2 hours, this movie is you.
Not only
brother.
was it made, it was released.
And it was viewed by people
All right.
in an attempt to make money.
Ethan Hawke in it. He's great.
He was great. He
He-
did a great job.
I swear he got nominated for something.
You'd
because
think,
of this,
yeah, it feels like
because
it's a
of the
really
performance.
powerful role for him. Like, there's a lot that, I mean, it's a one-man show almost. Like, I mean, there are other things, but it's
Well, that's
Yeah.
I remember I heard.
it's like the way Taxi Driver is Robert De Niro's show. Like, that's, I mean, yeah, same director or same writer.
Yeah.
You see the lineage there after during the second half. It was like, okay,
Is it sad that I haven't seen Taxi Driver?
No.
nah, that movie's
It's-
slow. I like it, but
It's
I
more
only saw it
iconic
once.
lines that like it's kind of the same deal where the first half you're
The
bored
ending
in
of
your
that
mind.
rules.
The second half is good. The first half you're just kind of like the only funny part's when he takes that girl. And
Yeah,
takes
it's on the
to
date.
girl.
That's
Yeah. Takes her to
that
the
scene's
the
incredible.
porno theater.
Most incredible first date I've ever seen. I didn't know you didn't like these movies.
Yeah, I thought we were having a good time here. I thought we were having a fun evening.
Oh no!
Yeah, you should watch it for sure. Watch Taxi Driver.
It's weird seeing Jodie Foster at like 10 years old. That's what I can't get over.
I hear there's a lot of comparisons to
Joker?
The Joker.
Yep, for sure. Joker has got a lot of Taxi Driver and King of Comedy in it. If you've seen that.
I haven't
That's
seen
one
either
everyone,
one of those.
That's the other one everyone references is King of Comedy, but I have never seen it.
That's on here.
I've never even heard of it.
King of Comedy? I knew that it was a Scorsese movie. I only saw it recently.
Almost. Almost saw it recently.
I just saw it recently.
Oh, sorry. I was like, why did you almost see it recently?
I almost saw it recently and then didn't see it at all.
I think we're trailing off.
Yeah, First Reform, million, billion, trillion stars.
There you have it.
So in any case, I was talking to the doctor about my...
At any
About my colon.
rate, we'll catch you next time. This is the Popcorn Priest signing off. As always, hit me up on the Twitters or the Instas if you want to interact with the great Popcorn Priest at Popcorn Priest. We're on the Instagrams now. I respond to every tweet, post, comment, hashtag, and whatever else there is. Let us know if there's something you'd like us to review. Also, if you enjoyed this or any of our previous episodes, please subscribe so you can get notifications on our newest episodes. Much appreciated. Next week, if you want to be ready for our newest breakdown, we'll be reviewing The Art of Self-Defense from 2019. Need a jolt of confidence or a healthy dose of brazen hypermasculinity? Well, you're in luck as we break down a film with all of those qualities next week. And as always, this has been Should You Watch This with the Popcorn Priest, and for Cole and Taylor, thank you for joining us. See you next week.